Hello all, welcome back to my YouTube channel Prakashika. Let's start with the placement questions. Before we dive into today's topic, in the previous session I had given one question which was on number systems. So we saw that whenever we are initializing a variable or assigning a variable, integer variable especially, uh, with a value such that it is starting from 0, it means we are assigning the decimal equivalent of the octal number. Similarly, if we have 0x, it means it's the hexadecimal number. So again here, this was the question given, and when we print this x is assigned in the hexadecimal. Again we have 0x indicates hexadecimal. This x could be small x or capital X, you'll get the same answer. And in hexadecimal we have 16 numbers, 0 to 9 and a to f. This a to f could be either an uppercase or lowercase, you will still get the same answer. So when we print this value of x in percentage d, that is we are formatting the hexadecimal to integer, we will get the integer equivalent of this hexadecimal number 42. How to convert from hexadecimal to integer or between different number systems? If you are an engineering student, you are allowed to use scientific calculator. I have my playlist on that, you can check out that. I will also link for that in the description box. Now let's jump into today's topic, which is related to the number system that we have done in the previous question, and also on the format specifier. There are two codes which are almost equivalent. So first we'll go with code 1. We have hash include stdio.h in both because we are using printf. Then void main, which is the entry point. So in the first code we have percentage d, and what will be the parameter that it will print 71. Next percentage d 071, percentage d 0x71, percentage d 0 capital X 71. Now what will be the answer for this? Now coming from printf always prints from left to right. So for the first percentage d that you see here, let me take a laser. For the first percentage d that you see here, the 71 is the parameter. That is 71 will be printed in integer format. So 71 will be the answer. Now for the next one, 071 is the parameter. So whenever we are assigning or initializing the integer value and it starts with 0, I have already told in the previous one, it means it is an octal number. We are formatting this octal number to integer. So the integer equivalent of this octal number 071 or 71 will be printed. Next 0x, whether x is capital or small, it means it's a hexadecimal number. So the integer equivalent of 0x71 will be printed. So everywhere we have taken 32-bit compiler, that means integer is 4 bytes. So the answer for this one is, as we discussed, 71, 57, 113, 113. How to convert between different number systems, as I've already told. Please check my playlist. Using the calculator, we can do these conversions directly without doing manual calculation. Coming to the second one, printf always prints from left to right. So for percentage d, the first input parameter is 71. So 71 will be printed in the integer format. It will print 71. Then there is a space, then percentage o. So second parameter is 71. Percentage o means whatever parameter that you have given, print it in the octal format. So the octal equivalent of the decimal number 71 will be printed. Then space will be given while printing. Then percentage x. This means whatever is the parameter here, parameter that is given as input is 71, convert it to hexadecimal and print it. When it is printing, it will not print 0x, it will, we just have to know it percentage x means hexadecimal. So 71 in octal is equivalent to 107, and 71 in decimal is equal to 47 in hexadecimal. So the format specifiers in C, which we already know the basics, one is percentage C is for character, which could be for both signed or unsigned. Percentage S is for string. Percentage D is for signed integer. And you can also use percentage I, but percentage D is the one which is mostly used. Percentage U is for unsigned integer. Then for signed long integer, percentage LD, and unsigned it will be percentage LU. For float, we know it is percentage F. So today we learned that if you want to print the equivalent in octal or hexadecimal, say something like an address that you are trying to print, then we can use percentage X or percentage O. So percentage x will print in hexadecimal, and percentage o will format and print it in octal. And one more uh, regarding the format specifier with respect to float is, if you have a floating number, I've taken some random example. If you just put percentage f, whatever is the digit, how much ever is the compiler 4 bytes, it will print up to that. But say I want to print only after or up to 4 decimal points after the floating point, or only up to 6 numbers after the floating point, then instead of giving percentage f, you give percentage, then point 4. This indicates after the floating point 4 digits, after the floating point 6 digits of the floating number f. So print it in the floating format. So 12.467, so it should have lasted at 7, then it is printing 8 because it is rounding off. Next number is 8, so it is rounding off to 8. 4 5 6 7 8 1, so the next number is 4, so again it is rounding off and it will remain as 1. Suppose if it is 8 here, then it will round off this 1 to 2. Now let's run this on a compiler. I'm taking one online compiler, any online compiler, or you can also try it on Turbo. See, all the three components that I discussed, I have put together in the single code. So when I run this, whatever answer I showed on the PPT, I'm getting the same thing. Maybe this percentage printing with precision, that is the number of digits after the floating point, it might vary from compiler to compiler based on how they have designed and the round off point. With this, let's finish our today's video. Thank